Hi Virgo, welcome to your week ahead taroscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, remember these are general readings, but they are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. And I want to say, for those of you, there's a whole new bunch of you that have come in. I've had this wonderful bunch of new subscribers. So if you are one of them, I just want to say thank you so much for joining the Reydiant Nation. For those of you already in the nation, and for those of you that are continued subbies, you know Rafi loves you. If you, before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So for your key to the week this week, you have... the Temperance card. Okay, so this is really, so first of all, this is going to be a week where you are seeking or striving to bring more balance into your life and into your world, but it's also where you are starting to really understand what is misaligned in your world. In all of these different areas that we're going to look at, you are seeking to balance out the equation and to find a more powerful sense of alignment over the course of this week. Now, the other thing with your Temperance card, when this card shows up, it usually means that there's something internal, energetically or spiritually, that needs to be adjusted. The other thing that I want to do caution about with this as well, be careful this week about being sucked into drama, conflicts, challenges or issues that have nothing to do with you, all right? This is usually where we're called in to mediate on something, and quite frankly, you know, now is not the time for that, okay? Now, if you are curious and you would like to get a personal reading with me, you can go to my website, which is radiantreality.com. There is also a link in the description box for you to go ahead and book a personal session with me. And it would be lovely to have you. All right, so for your actions and options, you've got the 10 of Wands. This I really like because it means that, so this is, first of all, Temperance is ruled by Sagittarius. Saggy is all about freedom and liberation. The 10 of Wands is also about being released or relieving yourself of a burden. Now, because you've got it in the position of your actions and options, this is about what you do. So this is about finding a sense of personal alignment, but it's also about releasing a burden or a challenge of some sort that you now know and accept is not yours to carry. This is one of those moments where you kind of step back and say, wow, you know what, I've really been trying to lead this or steer this or whatever it is for you, but actually I can't do that and I refuse to anymore. Now, in terms of the options that are available to you this week, it does look like you're going to have an opportunity to speak up on something that has been maybe a problem or a challenge within some kind of connection or tie. Now, what I mean by this is, and it's the 10 of Wands, so what you do need to be mindful of here is you may have a conversation with someone where you decide, right, you know what, I'm going to get this off my chest. I need to unburden myself of this. But whoever it is that you're talking to may not be ready to hear what it is that you're going to say. All right. So just be mindful that that may be the result of a conversation that you have. Now, for your communications and conversations, look at that. You've got the 10 of Pentacles. So you've got two 10s, right? Two 10s represents change, right? Usually it's a change that we feel very much on the material level. The 10 of Pentacles is about the material level. This is your home, your property, where you live, how you live there. It's your money, your finances and your resources. And for a lot of you this week, it looks like you're really getting very focused on how to align yourself with the financial path that you decide you now want or desire. But also, a lot of you are making very practical changes this week, maybe by releasing yourself of certain burdens, and potentially for some of you, you might be saying to someone this week, right, you know what, you are going to have to fend for yourself. I'm no longer going to financially support you, or I'm no longer going to pay into or assist whatever it is that you're doing. Like in some way, shape or form, I feel like this is you removing your financial support. And, you know, a lot of people say like, oh, you know, how can you do that or whatever? But there comes a time where, whether it's your children, whether it's your, you know, if you have parents that are financially dependent on you, and whatever the case might be, there comes a point where we do have to kind of let people fend for themselves in order that they might grow and develop that skill. Okay, now when it comes to those of you that are studying or in some form of academia, there might be something here where, so if you're planning to take a course of study, the price might be going up in some regard. And so if you have a window of opportunity to get onto some kind of course this week, my advice to you would be to take it, because the chances are it won't be that price again. We can see the price of everything right now is going up, and this kind of looks like, it's almost like someone's holding the door open for you in a certain space, and if you don't walk through it now, I am going to tell you that you won't be able to enter that same door for the same price for much longer. For those of you that are employed by somebody else, I like this actually for having the conversation around a pay rise. I like this for negotiating hard, and maybe, you know, if your boss comes back and says, look, we've discussed it, we can't give you a pay rise, then you say, look, you know what, then I want some kind of benefits package, some kind of discount program, whatever the case might be. This is really, with the Ten of Pentacles, the money should be there, to be completely honest with you, right? And the Temperance card is really kind of saying, if you align yourself to it energetically and vibrationally, there's nothing or no one that can hold this back from you. For those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people that work for themselves, this is good for your money, and it also suggests that you are really paying attention to your clientele. I think you might be shifting this. Maybe you're going after people that have more disposable income. Maybe you're going for the high ticket, come on brain, maybe you're going for, yeah, like maybe you're going for the high ticket approach versus what you've done previously. But either which way, something about your business is having to change. Maybe this is how you bring people in, maybe it's how you look at things. You know, there's a lot of shifts and changes coming here. Now when it comes to your home, for those of you that are retired and no longer working, there are changes coming to the familial ties. There are also a lot of changes potentially coming to the home. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of you are doing some kind of DIY, some kind of maintenance on the home. All of that kind of stuff could be showing up for you here. Now when it comes to your before, should I say, we get into your love and relationships, the clearing cohort opens on the 14th of January. If you want to get your space on that, I would do it as soon as you possibly can. And the reason I say this is because, first of all, spaces are super limited. It's very exclusive. There's only 8 spaces. And the reason for this is I'm going to be looking at your chart. I'm going to be looking at your numbers. I'm going to be looking at you and how this energy work can be specifically tailored to you. If you've ever taken any of my energy work courses, if you've done energy work with me, you know how powerful it is, and you know the kind of changes that come about because of it. So every month from here on in, I'm going to be holding a clearing cohort. So we're going to be clearing the energy around a specific theme. This month's theme is fear. So how it gets in our way, how it stops us from moving forward, all of that kind of stuff. So if you want to transcend your own personal fears, this is absolutely the month for you. Now, as I say, the spaces are limited to 8, and that's because I want to be able to really give you as much information and value around this whole process as possible. So if you are interested in that, you know what to do. There's going to be content around this, so you'll be able to check that out as well. It would be lovely to have you. If you've ever done any energy work with me, you know you're about to get a whole bunch of results. All right. Now, when it comes to your love and relations, you've got the Two of Pentacles. So for those of you that are partnered, married, or in long-term commitments, there are financial conversations that will need to be had this week. You know, who is making the money, what the money is being spent on, what you're doing with the resources, what is available. You know, do you have a plan for the future? Is the financial outlook as healthy as it could be or should be? All of that stuff is coming up for review when it comes to relationships. For a select few of you, if you've got children, or if you've got stepchildren and all of that, there might be conversations around what they now really start to need to do for themselves. So there's a lot of considerations around the budgeting and stuff like that. Now, for those of you that are single and looking, that Two of Pentacles, I mean, look, you're very focused on your resources this week as opposed to anything else. I will also say because you've got the Temperance card here as well, if you are connecting with someone this week, it might be good to really get a good understanding of, like, don't get me wrong, you don't just turn up to the first date like, how much money do you make? You know, are you broke? Do you have a lot of debt? You know, that stuff takes time to talk about. But what I will say is, if you're in a relationship that you feel like might be going somewhere, get a good upfront idea now of where this person is materially, so that you know how to move forward with them. And then finally, for your money and materials, you've got the Chariot card. So look, in the long term, your finances absolutely pick up. I think a lot of this, though, comes from the fact that you are having those tough conversations around resources this week. I also feel like this might be coming about because a lot of you are getting very serious about your financial future and or your destiny. Now, when it comes to your physical health and vitality, the Chariot card is a very fast card. So if you've had problems, challenges, or issues around you know, any sort of health matters, this could be a week where things really start to develop. The Chariot card with the Temperance card is always a pass in an exam. So for those of you that are having tests or exams or anything like that, you've got the flying color, you know, you've got the flying color combination. Love to see this for you. For those of, when it comes to your home and environment, anywhere that you need a license or a permit, anywhere that you're having work or DIY, etc. done to the home, it's going to have the desired effect, and it will probably be long-lasting results. So that's really good news. It could also be as well, for those of you that have cars and or vehicles, in particular those of you that have motorbikes, I will say this might be a good week to get the maintenance on those things done, right? Whatever the, because it's a bike, right? Your safety has to be extra paramount for that. You know, it should be for any vehicle really, but when you're on a bike, you're that much more exposed, you're that much more vulnerable. Spend the money, get it done. All right. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.